Top 30 Cashier Job Interview Questions and Answers. Preparing for a cashier job interview requires more than knowing how to operate a cash register. Employers want candidates who are trustworthy, friendly, accurate, organized, and capable of handling customers professionally. They may ask about cash handling, customer service, difficult situations, refunds, teamwork, and working under pressure. In this guide, you will find 30 common cashier interview questions with professional sample answers. Each answer is designed to help you understand what employers expect and give you a strong foundation for confidently answering questions during your next cashier job interview. 1. Tell me about yourself. I am a responsible, friendly, and detail-oriented person who enjoys helping customers and working in a busy environment. I understand that cashiers must provide excellent customer service while handling payments accurately. I am comfortable communicating with different types of people and staying calm when the store becomes busy. I am also willing to learn new point-of-sale systems and company procedures. My goal is to become a dependable team member who contributes to smooth store operations and ensures every customer has a positive experience. 2. Why do you want to work as a cashier? I want to work as a cashier because I enjoy interacting with people and providing helpful customer service. I like positions that require responsibility, organization, and attention to detail. A cashier role would allow me to develop my communication, payment handling, and problem-solving skills while contributing to the success of the store. I also understand that cashiers create an important final impression for customers. I would be proud to represent the company professionally, serve customers efficiently, and make their shopping experience convenient and pleasant. 3. What are the most important qualities of a good cashier? A good cashier should be honest, accurate, patient, friendly, and attentive. Accuracy is especially important because cashiers handle money, process transactions, and provide change. Customer service is equally important because customers expect respectful and helpful treatment. A cashier should also remain calm during busy periods and communicate clearly when problems occur. Organization and reliability help ensure the register operates smoothly. Finally, a good cashier should follow company policies carefully, protect customer information, and maintain a professional attitude throughout every shift. 4. Do you have experience handling cash? Yes, I understand that handling cash requires accuracy, concentration, and responsibility. If I have previous cash handling experience, I make sure to count money carefully, verify payments, provide the correct change, and follow all company procedures. If I am new to cashier work, I am confident that I can learn quickly through training and practice. I would always double-check transactions when necessary rather than rushing. My priority would be protecting the company's money while providing customers with fast, accurate, and professional service. 5. How would you handle a difficult customer? I would remain calm, polite, and professional instead of responding emotionally. First, I would listen carefully to understand the customer's concern and allow them to explain the situation. Then I would acknowledge the problem and try to provide an appropriate solution according to company policy. If I could not resolve the issue myself, I would respectfully involve a supervisor or manager. My goal would be to solve the problem without arguing and ensure the customer feels heard while still following the store's rules and procedures. 6. How do you handle working under pressure? I handle pressure by staying organized and focusing on one task at a time. During busy periods, I would avoid becoming distracted and maintain accuracy while serving customers efficiently. I understand that rushing can create mistakes, especially when handling money. I would communicate clearly with customers and coworkers if assistance is needed. I also try to maintain a positive attitude during stressful situations. By remaining calm, following established procedures, and prioritizing important tasks, I can continue providing reliable service even during very busy shifts. 7. What would you do if your cash drawer was short? If my cash drawer were short, I would immediately report the discrepancy to my supervisor or manager rather than trying to hide it. I would review the transactions and recount the drawer carefully according to company procedures. I would cooperate fully with any investigation and provide honest information about what happened. Accuracy and honesty are extremely important when handling company money. Even if the shortage were caused by an innocent mistake, I believe reporting it promptly demonstrates responsibility and helps prevent similar problems from happening again. 8. What would you do if your cash drawer was over? If my cash drawer were over, I would follow the same procedure as I would with a shortage. I would recount the cash and review the transactions to identify whether a mistake had occurred. Then I would inform my supervisor or manager and provide the necessary information. I would never keep extra money or ignore the discrepancy. Even when the amount benefits the business, accuracy and transparency are important. Following company procedures helps maintain proper financial records and demonstrates that I can be trusted with cash. 9. How would you handle a long line of customers? I would remain calm, work efficiently, and maintain accuracy while processing each transaction. I would greet customers politely and avoid unnecessary delays without making customers feel rushed. If the line became unusually long, I would follow the store's procedure for requesting another cashier or additional assistance. I would also make sure my workstation remained organized so transactions could move smoothly. My goal would be to serve customers quickly while maintaining good customer service and ensuring every payment receipt and change amount is correct. 10. What would you do if a customer gave you counterfeit money? If I suspected that a bill might be counterfeit, I would remain professional and follow the company's established procedure. I would avoid accusing the customer directly because that could create an unnecessary confrontation. I would discreetly verify the bill using the approved methods or request assistance from a supervisor if required. I would not return or accept the bill outside company procedures. The most important things would be protecting the business, treating the customer respectfully, and following all policies consistently and professionally. 11. How would you handle a customer requesting a refund? I would listen carefully to the customer's request and check the receipt, item, and relevant store policy. I would explain the refund process clearly and politely. If the request met company requirements, I would process the refund accurately. If it did not meet the policy, I would respectfully explain the reason and, if appropriate, involve a supervisor. I would never argue with the customer or make exceptions without authorization. My goal would be to provide helpful service while following the company's refund and return procedures. 12. What would you do if you made a mistake during a transaction? If I noticed a transaction mistake, I would address it immediately rather than ignoring it. I would determine what went wrong and follow the company's correction procedure. If a supervisor's assistance were required, I would ask for help promptly. I believe honesty is important because small mistakes can become larger problems if they are hidden. I would also learn from the situation and pay closer attention to prevent it from happening again. Remaining calm and taking responsibility demonstrates professionalism and reliability. 13. How would you provide excellent customer service? I would provide excellent customer service by greeting customers politely, listening carefully, communicating clearly, and completing transactions accurately. I would maintain a friendly and professional attitude even during busy periods. If customers had questions, I would help them as much as possible or direct them to the appropriate employee. I would also thank customers for shopping with the company. Small actions such as eye contact, patience, accurate change, and a positive attitude can make customers feel respected and create a better overall shopping experience. 14. How comfortable are you using a cash register or POS system? I am comfortable learning and using technology, including cash registers and point-of-sale systems. I understand that different companies may use different POS systems, so I would carefully follow training and practice until I become confident. I would learn how to process cash, card, digital, refund, and other approved transactions correctly. If I encountered an unfamiliar function, I would ask for assistance instead of guessing. Accuracy is more important than pretending to know something, and I am confident that I can learn a new system quickly. 15. What would you do if the POS system stopped working? If the POS system stopped working, I would remain calm and follow the company's emergency or backup procedure. I would inform my supervisor or manager immediately and explain the problem. I would politely let customers know there may be a short delay rather than leaving them confused. I would not attempt unauthorized repairs or make changes to the system myself. If the company has an approved manual payment process, I would follow it carefully. My priority would be maintaining security, accuracy, and good customer communication. 16. How would you handle an angry customer who blames you? I would avoid taking the customer's anger personally and remain calm and respectful. I would listen carefully, acknowledge their frustration, and determine whether I could resolve the issue within my responsibilities. I would explain the situation clearly without becoming defensive or argumentative. If the problem required managerial authority, I would request assistance. My focus would be finding a practical solution, rather than winning an argument. Professional communication can often reduce tension and help customers feel that their concerns are being taken seriously. 17. How do you ensure accuracy when giving change? I ensure accuracy by paying close attention to the amount received, entering the correct transaction amount, and counting the change carefully. When appropriate, I verify the amount displayed by the register before completing the transaction. I avoid distractions and do not rush simply because customers are waiting. I also follow the store's cash handling procedures consistently. Accuracy is especially important for a cashier because repeated small mistakes can create financial discrepancies. Careful counting and concentration help protect both the customer and the business. 18. What would you do if a customer disputed the price of an item? I would remain polite and check the price using the register, shelf information, or another approved source. I would listen to the customer's explanation and avoid assuming that either side was automatically correct. If the store policy required a supervisor to approve a price adjustment, I would request assistance. I would explain the outcome clearly and respectfully. My objective would be to resolve the disagreement according to company policy, while ensuring the customer receives professional treatment and the transaction is completed accurately. 19. How would you handle multiple customers asking for help? I would acknowledge each customer so they know I have noticed them, then handle requests according to urgency and store procedures. If I were serving someone at the register, I would complete their transaction before becoming distracted by another request, unless there were an emergency. I would communicate politely with waiting customers and ask a coworker for assistance when appropriate. Staying organized and communicating clearly would help me manage multiple requests without sacrificing accuracy, professionalism, or customer satisfaction. 20. What would you do if a coworker asked you to ignore a cash handling rule? I would politely explain that I need to follow company procedures, especially when handling money. I would not ignore a rule simply because a coworker requested it. If the situation involved a serious violation or potential financial risk, I would report it through the appropriate management or reporting process. I believe teamwork is important, but teamwork does not mean compromising honesty or company policy. A trustworthy cashier should protect the business, follow procedures consistently, and encourage coworkers to do the same. 21. Are you comfortable working weekends and holidays? Yes, I understand that retail businesses are often busiest during weekends, evenings, and holidays. I am prepared to work according to the schedule required for the position and understand that flexibility can be important in a cashier role. I would communicate my availability honestly and arrive on time for scheduled shifts. I also understand that reliable attendance helps the entire team operate effectively. If the employer requires weekend or holiday availability, I would make every effort to support the store and maintain a dependable work schedule. 22. How do you work as part of a team? I believe effective teamwork requires communication, respect, reliability, and willingness to help others. As a cashier, I would communicate with supervisors and coworkers when I need assistance or notice an issue. I would also help maintain a clean and organized checkout area when my responsibilities allow. I understand that every employee contributes to the customer's experience. I would respect different working styles, accept constructive feedback, and complete my responsibilities on time. My goal would be to support the team while maintaining excellent individual performance. 23. What would you do if you suspected a customer was stealing? I would not confront or physically approach the customer unless company policy specifically authorized it. Instead, I would follow the store's loss prevention procedures and discreetly notify the appropriate supervisor or security personnel. I understand that safety is more important than recovering merchandise. I would avoid making accusations based only on assumptions and allow trained personnel to handle the situation. Following established procedures protects customers, employees, and the business while ensuring the situation is handled professionally and safely. 24. How would you handle a customer who is in a hurry? I would recognize that the customer is in a hurry and provide efficient service without sacrificing accuracy. I would keep the transaction moving smoothly, avoid unnecessary conversation, and clearly communicate if there were any delays. However, I would never rush so much that I made mistakes with money or merchandise. I would remain polite and focused throughout the transaction. Good service means balancing speed with accuracy, so the customer can leave quickly while knowing the payment and receipt have been handled correctly. 25. What would you do if you disagreed with a supervisor? If I disagreed with a supervisor, I would remain respectful and discuss the issue professionally. I would listen to their reasoning and explain my perspective calmly if appropriate. I understand that supervisors have responsibilities and information that employees may not have. If the supervisor's decision followed company policy, I would respect it even if I had a different opinion. If I believed there were a serious policy or safety concern, I would use the appropriate reporting process. Professional communication is essential when resolving workplace disagreements. 26. How do you stay motivated during repetitive tasks? I stay motivated by remembering that repetitive tasks are still important to the overall customer experience and store operation. As a cashier, processing many transactions may become routine, but every customer deserves the same level of attention and professionalism. I focus on maintaining accuracy and setting small performance goals, such as keeping my workspace organized and completing transactions efficiently. I also remind myself that consistency builds trust. Even when work feels repetitive, maintaining a positive attitude and strong standards demonstrates reliability. 27. What would you do if you noticed a pricing error at checkout? If I noticed a pricing error, I would pause the transaction when appropriate and verify the correct price using the company's approved system or information. I would explain the situation politely to the customer and involve a supervisor if a price adjustment required authorization. I would never deliberately charge an incorrect amount or change a price without permission. Accurate pricing protects both the customer and the company. I would also report recurring pricing problems so management could investigate and correct the underlying issue. 28. Why should we hire you as a cashier? You should hire me because I am responsible, customer-focused, willing to learn, and committed to accuracy. I understand that cashiers represent the company during one of the most important parts of the customer's visit. I would handle money carefully, communicate respectfully, and follow company policies. I am also comfortable working in busy environments and cooperating with coworkers. Most importantly, I would take responsibility for my work and continuously look for ways to improve. I believe these qualities would make me a dependable addition to your team. 29. What are your strengths as a cashier? My main strengths are attention to detail, patience, communication, honesty, and reliability. I understand that even a small mistake can affect a customer's experience or the company's financial records, so I take accuracy seriously. I am also comfortable communicating with different customers and maintaining a professional attitude when situations become stressful. Another strength is my willingness to learn. If the company introduces a new system or procedure, I am prepared to learn it carefully and apply it consistently while supporting my coworkers. 30. Where do you see yourself in the future? In the future, I would like to become an experienced and highly dependable employee who understands the company's products, procedures, customers, and systems. I want to continue improving my customer service, communication, and leadership skills. Depending on available opportunities, I would be interested in taking on additional responsibilities or progressing into a senior cashier, customer service, or supervisory position. However, my immediate priority would be performing the cashier role exceptionally well, learning from experienced team members, and becoming someone the company can trust. A successful cashier interview requires you to demonstrate honesty, accuracy, customer service, patience, teamwork, and the ability to remain calm under pressure. Employers want candidates who can handle money responsibly while treating customers respectfully and following company policies. Practice these 30 questions aloud and personalize the answers with your own experience, skills, and examples. Avoid memorizing every word because natural answers sound more confident. With preparation and a positive attitude, you can make a strong impression and demonstrate that you are ready to become a reliable and professional cashier.